Can you swear on the spiritual path? Absolutely freaking yes, you can. In fact, I endorse it. Just go all in. Use them all. No, you don't need my endorsement. You do you. But there is something very intense about swear words or vile language. And it can easily be frowned upon or considered taboo within spiritual circles. And I wanted to share my perspective on that, dig a bit deeper into how we relate to swear words. Yes. So I started meditating about 10 years ago. I guess I would say that's like the time I really came in contact with spirituality. And it started with meditation and then yoga, coming into Buddhism and Eastern philosophy, and then progressing from there. And my only real contact with spirituality before, I'm not from a religious family, but I'm brought up in Sweden, which is founded on Christian values. Every little town has a church. So we did go to church when I was a kid for like traditional holidays and sometimes on school excursions and stuff. And it was always this um, like you were taught that in churches, you behave, you stay small, you don't make any commotion. And I don't criticize that. I mean, church is like the sacred place where people go to really look inwards. There's no need to cause commotion there. But the subtle trap that I myself and I think many others bring with us is that in order for things to be spiritual or for things to be sacred, we have to show up in a way that we would in a church or in a temple. But we can't live our lives in a temple, or maybe we can't, but then we have to change the rules of what it's like being in a temple. If we expand a temple to being all of our lives, the whole world, which is quite a perspective I enjoy, then the rules cannot be do not disturb, keep yourself small. Then all of a sudden, we've taken away the heart of the sacredness, for me anyway. And how does this bring us into swear words? Because even though there might not be appropriate in an actual temple or in a church, I'd like to argue that they are appropriate in life. Because it's not really about the words themselves, it's about the energy that they carry. Like, for instance, a few weeks ago, I did this really clumsy thing where I slammed shut the doors to my wardrobe, and somehow I got my thumb stuck in between the doors, so it basically got squeezed between the wall and the door, and it hurt like it hurt like hell. See what I did there? I didn't swear. It's so easily programmed into us, but that wasn't the point. It was really, really painful. Nothing really happened with my thumb. Like it wasn't permanently injured, but it was like pain shooting through the skeleton, like in the bones. And the words that came out of me, oh my freaking divineness, it was, I didn't know I had those words inside me. Like they were pretty vile, mostly Swedish ones, but I'm not sure I've ever used any of them before. They were coming from a really raw place. But they were expressing something. The energy that moved through, like came out in these words, that was intense. And that energy is not good or bad. It is. It is how life is manifesting right now. And this time it came out as swear words. But the trap is that if we block our swear words, we do it not in order to be polite or like to show love and respect to other people, because I agree we can't use all like it's like not socially fluent, or like it creates friction between us if we use them in any environment. So I'm not endorsing um using foul language just for the for the case of causing commotion. But I think you get that point. So if we just say that I don't use swear words, that's fine. We can do that. But the trap is that we easily say, I don't allow this energy coming through me. So we're not actually blocking the words. We're blocking how life manifests in this way. And that, I think, is a problem. And why is it a problem? Well, because we contract, we create stagnation in ourselves. We force part of ourselves into the shadows. This energy does not align with the self-image I have, therefore it is not allowed. If it comes up, I'm going to suppress it. And that's the problem, because it creates suffering inside of us. It creates tension in our relationship. We might be frightened or distance ourselves from people who express this energy, not in a hostile way, but in an empowered way. Because this energy that usually is behind swear words can be used violently, destructive, harmful to other people, but it can also be used as a way to put up boundaries, to enforce safety for ourselves and for others. The energy itself is pure, or rather, not pure as in it is just raw life force. The fact that it shows up is how life manifests. We get to choose whether we want to use it for destructive purposes or for nurturing, building, clear communication, strict boundaries. And sometimes that's using swear words. Yes. And some people say that, oh, I don't have that energy. I don't need to use swear words. I'm a nice person. Yes, maybe you are. Or maybe you've just pressed this energy into the shadows. And most of us are somewhere in between. At least that's true for me. But I'd like to invite you to do a little exploration. Choose a word that you find really vile, like a rough swear word. Whatever that is for you, the worse the better. And just say it for yourself. Possibly even out loud. Well, preferably out loud, unless you're in a public space or there's people around you. And just play around with that. Say this word in like a powerful voice, in a high voice. Maybe even scream it on the top of your lungs. And do it again. And do it again. And just notice what happens in your body. Does it feel expanded? Was there fear coming up? Was there even some excitement? Just see if you can be completely honest with how your internal world reacted when you allowed yourself to say a word that you normally don't use. It's so easy to get caught in a spiritual role. Like, this is how I'm supposed to show up when I'm spiritual. But as soon as we have an idea of how we should show up, how spiritual people show up, we're limiting ourselves. We're listening to our mind more than we're listening to truth. And am I then saying that we should listen to anyone who has a vile language? No, of course not. There are many people who express a lot of destructive thoughts using violent language. But that has more giveaways than the actual swear words themselves. And I guess this is extra important for me because I grew up in quite a swear word liberal environment, I guess you can say. I have easy access to using swear words. My language can be quite coarse. when I let it rip, like when I just free flow with my friends. And my jokes are sometimes not in a sophisticated poetic language. They can be quite earthy. What do I mean by that? Well, the thing I noticed that once I started getting into these spiritual circles, these yoga retreats, where people were the rules of how you were supposed to show up actually meant that that side of me, or this is how I interpret it, that side of me wasn't really welcome. I kind of had to manage that one. No, Josephine, no course, no foul jokes here, no language that's a little bit coarse. Here we speak in very kind and very nice voices. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. When it becomes wrong is if other things are forbidden. If they are shadow sides of what's allowed in a community. When they're in fact not hurting anyone. It is not perpetrating violence on anyone. It's just a way of expressing. And I think initially I just went on board with that so easily. Of like, okay, this is a sacred space. Here we do inner work. This part of me don't belong there. And actually, that's not nurturing. That's not taking me closer to truth. It's in fact doing the opposite. And it's so easy that these expectations of how we're supposed to talk about things, this political correctness or spiritual correctness, actually takes us away from what we're actually pointing to. Because I truly believe, and I have a whole episode on this, that words are just pointers. They're either pointing to what I'm trying to communicate to you. Am I coming from love? Or am I coming from hostility? Whatever words I use, you cannot be sure of that. You have to feel it in your own body. You have to kind of interpret the words I'm saying and then make assumptions based on that. What matters is where they come from. Where are they uttered from? If we only make rules based on which words are allowed, we're missing the actual aliveness that comes behind them. So yes, this is an invitation to use more swear words in order to access perhaps things that are shadow in ourselves, but also to expand our communities of not making rigid rules based on words themselves, but rather on truth. Is this what's communicated truth, or is it just not following certain language guidelines? Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? What's your relationship with swear words? I'd love to hear your opinion, so please do share in the comment section. Not only your opinions, or your reflections and your experiences as well. And also how the exercise was for you. I find it quite exciting, actually. Almost like I can play around with these forbidden rules that my mind has some forbidden words that my mind has somehow decided are not worthy. Yes. Thank you for joining me on this exploration, and I hope to see you next time. Oh, and also, if you want me in my feed, don't forget to follow. Take care.